Emergency funds, rainy day funds. What's the difference and why can't I just have one savings account and be done with it? Let me answer a few of these questions for you very briefly. Having separate accounts with specific purposes and uses tend to make it easier for people to set and actually accomplish goals without it being so easy to dip into those funds. If you're like I was faithful to tucking money away into my savings account, but the minute somebody had a blowout sale or I saw something that I just couldn't live without, it was oh so easy for me to dip into those account and pull the money out that I wanted to use. I transfer money over from my savings into my checking account whenever my checking account was running low, and it seemed like my savings account was always suffering and never really growing. This makes it tough to put money back for hard times or for the many incidentals that can come up from day to day in life that we should be prepared for. So this is one of the reasons why having a catch-all savings account does not work for most people. Now let's talk about an emergency fund. This is your safety net in the event of a financial emergency, such as a job loss, medical injuries, or some kind of sudden illness. Any event that is going to inhibit you from the having the ability to work and bring in the income you're accustomed to making. It's recommended that you keep 3 to 6 months of living expenses set aside to fall back on in the event of hard times. This includes all of your bills, anything that you have to make payments for every month. You want to include those in your calculation. So we're talking about credit cards, car bills, rent, your mortgage, daycare fees, transportation costs, groceries, all of the things that you have to have, that you need to have to survive. Now, 3 to 6 months may be a bit aggressive for most of us, but you need to start somewhere. Set aside a little bit at a time until you have a month's worth, and then keep tucking it away, putting it aside until you have 2 months. Work until that 6 month goal is accomplished over a set amount of time. Many of us were caught off guard with COVID, and unfortunately, many millions were unable to work when the nation shut down. We could only depend on the government for so much for help. So having funds set aside for hard times like these would prove extremely beneficial. Now, on the other hand, you have your rainy day fund that is intended to cover smaller one time expenses that come up, such as I need my AC repaired right now, a new refrigerator, new stove, new tires, car issues, things that come up with your kids, braces, and so on. It helps you avoid going into debt because you already have money set aside to cover these minor expenses that seem to always come up so that you're not caught completely off guard or by surprise. A $250 repair to your car may not seem like a whole lot, but it can throw your entire budget out of whack or force you to take out a loan or be late on a bill or whatever when you're not prepared for that $250 surprise car payment or car issue. The amount that you set aside in your rainy day fund is completely up to you. The only thing is it needs to be realistic. It has to be a realistic amount. Figure out how much money you'd like to put in your fund, factor in things that you know are likely coming up, and then cushion that for additional unexpected things. Then work towards your goal by setting aside money each month in a separate account. These are great things to use your stimulus checks for, your tax refunds, your bonuses from work, and so forth. It'll help you cut down on the amount of time that it takes to accumulate the money you need in these funds. Add building your emergency and your rainy day funds into your budget, and then also add them as an automatic deduction from your payroll. I don't care if it's $10, $20, $50, $100. Put it aside every month, and guess what? It will add up. Make sure you keep these funds relatively liquid and somewhere you can access them easily without any penalties or fees, like maybe in a high yield bank account or a money market account. But most importantly, you want to remember that out of sight is out of mind. You want to forget that it's there so you don't touch it until you absolutely need it. Now, I know this is not a hot topic of conversation, and saving for an emergency fund or a rainy day fund is not the most exciting thing that you can think of to do with your hard earned money. But in the face of a true financial emergency or an unexpected bill that arises, you will be glad that you did. I hope that you find this information insightful and that it pushes you in a direction of preparedness. Thank you for joining us in this Savvy in Seconds moment. Until the next time.